All right, everybody, welcome back to You're Not Gonna Like This. This is episode 7 in this three-part series. We're gonna talk about performances and vaccines, and in this, we're gonna talk about a couple players that have kind of been exposed in the playoffs. Because in the bubble, a lot of people were going crazy, but now they kind of died down. A couple guys from regular season as well that's kind of died down in production as well. And then for the vaccine portion, we're gonna talk about that Dr. Anthony Fauci, one of the infectious disease experts in America, said that the vaccine is going to come out possibly by the end of the year, early November. We're going to talk about that and the rest of it in another part as well. But this part is 7A. We're going to talk about four guys that have kind of been exposed in the playoffs to begin with. But let me not be rude. Today we got a special guest with us. So we got Cam Kazar of the Exzentric Podcast.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, fellas.
Ad name for both his pages are going to be coming up on the screen very shortly. Glad to have him on here as well. Good friend of ours, known us since our freshman year in college. Sir. And it's always good to collaborate with another one of our supporters as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so first things first. First player we're going to talk about, guys, today is T.J. Warren. Now, as most of you know, T.J. Warren, when the bubble first came, bro was going crazy.
I think he dropped 53 the first game of the bubble.
50 on Ben Simmons the first game, and a couple other, and he had another 50-point game.
Yeah, he went crazy versus the Lakers too, bro. He hit the game winner and everything, bro.
Yeah, based on what I saw is that what I found is that in the regular season he only averaged 20. And 4 rebounds, but in the bubble seeding games alone, he averaged 31 points and 6 rebounds. But when he played Miami in the first round of playoffs, he went back down to 20.
Locked his
ass up. Rebounds the same.
Yeah, he got exposed.
So my question to you is: was TJ's 8-game stretch a fluke?
All right, I'm gonna go first. I think, yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I don't want to. Because like you said, I mean, he scored, like, he's averaged 20 points before, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was always been a solid scorer. Even when he was at NC State, like, he got buckets, you know what I'm saying? Like, even once he started, because he used to just be, like, straight mid-range. Like, he even started shooting the three and stuff. Now, I think he was shooting well from three and stuff, but, like, he was never no 30-point per game scorer, though, you know what I'm saying? He was always, like, a solid scorer, but, like, to see him in the bubble averaging 32 a game is really, like, okay, like, where did this come from? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's no disrespect to him because, like I said, he's been a scorer, but, like, he was never no 30 point per game scorer, you know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to the playoffs and stuff. Like, we saw how he got exposed. I mean, not how he got exposed, but, like, we saw he wasn't at that elite level of scorers, you know what I'm saying, like, compared to the other dude.
I think he was definitely exposed.
Yeah.
I think that he kind of exposed him, definitely.
Honestly, I wouldn't even say he got, like, exposed per se. He just kind of, like, went back down to earth. At the end of the day, 31 points per game is not him at all.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of people in this league don't just average 31. Yeah. So we should have known it was, like, kind of a fluke. But he just got knocked back down to earth, and
Facts.
Once he got some pressure put on him in the playoff situation, he just started putting up the numbers he usually put up.
And Jimmy had his number too, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jimmy was like, nah, like, T.J. Warren is not going to do it. T.J. Warren is not going to be the reason they win, you know what I'm saying? He clamped them.
Yeah, he had a bounty out for TJ though. So
yeah, he did.
I kind of expected that after what he said to him.
Yeah.
So, hey man, TJ Warren. I tip my cap to TJ Warren because he was really putting them boys on the map during the seeding games. But it's just the better team won, and he dropped back down to earth. So, hey, I expected it. So, I mean,
I'm a little surprised.
Yeah. So it was a fluke in a sense. So.
Yeah, for those that don't know by what Jimmy B had TJ Warren number, if you don't know that, couple before the quarantine, before everything else got crazy because of COVID, Jimmy B and TJ Warren were going at it in the regular season. They were going back and forth pretty heavily. So yeah, I feel like it's kind of a fluke because TJ Warren has never been that kind of player. And those that average those high numbers, are we talking like the stars of the league, like the ADs, the Giannis, the LeBrons, the Currys, the Westbrooks, those guys. So, yeah, this was kind of out of his role. Shout out to Jimmy Butler in Miami because not only did they clamp him up, but the Heat Keep your eye out for him. They ball. They
baby.
They balling right
Nation,
now.
baby.
Thanks. But it's like he was an above average player. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because he was averaging 20 points per game. A lot of folks in the league don't do that. But it's just like literally once we got back to the playoffs, he just went back down to being what he was before. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so that's why I do it. Like P was saying, it's like that's why I do think those games were a fluke, because it's like he was averaging 32 a game, then you just go back down to averaging 20 like he was doing before. You know what I'm saying? Because 32 points per game wasn't you.
Man, and he was beating these teams like the Lakers, man. Like,
yeah, he was just on another level, bro.
Dropping 50 against the Lakers and winning, that's impressive.
Yeah.
But I can't expect
too,
that.
Like.
Yeah, I can't expect that every day.
That just shows that he's more of your third scoring option. You know, like an older Lou Williams or I can't think of anybody like an Eric. Well, not
Eric. Brian, I think if the Pacers were fully healthy, it would have been a better series. I still would have had Miami, but I don't think they would have got swept.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been no sweep.
Oh yeah, that's right. They were missing Sabonis.
They were missing Sabonis. You know, Oladipo wasn't right. You know what I'm saying?
He would have held Bam much better.
Yeah.
Much better than Miles Turner, because Miles Turner was getting cooked out there by Bam.
Don't
know how, but he was getting cooked out there. All right, well, let's keep the conversation going. Next guy we can go to is Tobias Harris. All right, so in the regular season, Tobias averaged 19, 7, and 3. In the playoffs, both 2020 and 2019, he averaged just over 15 points a game, 9 boards, and 4 assists in both playoff series in total. Kind of played the same games. Last year, they only got to the second round, and this year they got swept by the Celtics, as most know. My question to you all is that we're going to go back to last year to when Tobias got the max deal. Should the Sixers have signed Jimmy B instead? Because Jimmy B in the 2019 playoffs, he averaged 19, 6, and 5. So who really deserved that max contract more to be the third or second guy next to Joel Embiid?
UAP?
Yeah, I got it. I mean, yeah, of course they should have signed Jimmy Butler instead, but Jimmy Butler didn't want to go back to Philly. That's the problem. And they basically just settled for Tobias Harris. And I feel like they probably could have got him at a cheaper price, keep it a band with you, because I'm pretty sure he's making like $180 million over his contract. And looking at these numbers, he is not a $180 million player. It's just as simple as that. So at the end of the day, they would have loved to see Jimmy come back, but Jimmy just knew that what they had going on in Philly won't it at that point. Plus, they got rid of JJ Redick too, and that kind of messes up all the space.
Yeah, and then they went and paid Al Horford, a huge contract. You know what I'm saying? Like,
a waste of money.
And my thing is like, I mean, like people saying, like, they definitely should have signed Jimmy Butler over him, but like Jimmy didn't want to go back. And it's like Tobias is a solid player. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, but also if you're gonna pay him all that money, it's like you also got to maximize him. You know what I'm saying? Because Tobias is really a stretch four. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He not no 3. He not no real deal wing. It's like you have a starting lineup of Ben Simmons, Al Horford, and Embiid, and Tobias Harris, and Josh Richardson. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, that's really 3 non-shooters right there. You know what I'm saying? That's taking up all the spacing. You know what I'm saying? It's like Tobias, you can have him be like a floor spacer and stuff, but it's like he best when he like operating from like, the mid-range and stuff, but it's like all that shit is clogged because everybody's selling out on the paint. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm not surprised that his numbers not that well, because it's like, bro, like we've literally seen this with Philly the past 2 years. It's like, bro, they spacing, and it's also like the question of can Ben Simmons and Joel coexist together, because it's like, bro, that spacing and everything, and then you try and throw Tobias, and then you throw Al Horford in there. It's like, I didn't like how that team was constructed. I don't think nobody's maximized to their strengths in Philly at all. I'm hoping Tobias can step up, because like you said, he's a solid player, but he don't deserve his contract is way too big, straight up.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it got to be, his playoff numbers last year, 15, 9, 4. I mean, that's what I expected from last year. Just off the fact
they had a deeper team last year too.
Yeah, just off the fact that he was maybe like a third, fourth option, but on this playoff team, he had to be the second option, and he did not produce like he should have
at all. Yeah, because it was just Embiid and him.
Yeah, he had the exact same. He should have been averaging at least 20 points and operating
at least 20.
And I think that Al Horford signing also kind of screwed him over, because, like you said, he is a stretch forward, and Al Horford was starting at the 4 for whatever reason. I don't know why they even had him starting at the 4.
You got him at the 4 and Embiid at the 5 and Ben Simmons playing the 3 or like playing point. It's like, bro, what?
And then you try to insert Shake Milton into the starting lineup too.
Yeah, like, bro,
you can't do that.
It looked all bad for Philly in that series. You know, it's a couple of games, but Philly actually looked like they was going to win a game or two, but they folded at the end. They couldn't hold out the Celtics run at all. And I feel like Elton Brand, you gotta sign those pink slips, man. It's time for him to go because he been tripping. He been
one more year.
taking some bad signs.
I want to see what coach they get though.
I give him another year.
The coach.
I really want them to get like Ty Lue or something, or like
the coaching market is deep. It's real deep. It's real deep.
I think Ty Lue going. I think Ty Lue going to end up in Philly. I think.
Yeah, Philly or Houston. He going to one of those teams.
I would like to see it.
Ty Lue deserve a job though, for sure.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I was real shocked when the Lakers didn't sign him then, and I was real critical when we signed Frank Vogel. But I'm gonna take my words back, take my tongue back. Frank Vogel has really stepped up to the challenge.
Vogel's solid.
He's really put the Lakers in a really good position, good position, and I'm really shocked. Not only to be a Laker fan, but very ecstatic because if I'm a true Laker fan. Been with the team for a long time. Been through the Kendall Marshall days.
You finally getting a taste of what playoff Bron all about, bro. I told you, bro. LeBron when he get locked in, it's different, bro. Like people take that for granted, bro. Playoff Bron a real thing for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I've always known he's been a real thing. I've never doubted playoff Bron. It was always the others. Shaquille O'Neal always says always the others. Can the others support Bron and AD? And the others have been. We're gonna talk about one of those others in another part, so stay tuned for that as well. Next guy we can get into is Paul George. This is the first actual superstar we're gonna get into. That has most of you know playoff P. He got playoff P for a reason. Back in his Indy days, OKC days, bro was nothing to be messed with. But lately on the Clippers, he has been playing
Pandemic P.
Bad, Pandemic P is what he's been playing like right now, for real.
Nah, he was hooping today though. He definitely got off today.
Oh yeah, nah, he had 33 today. So yeah,
it didn't matter.
It didn't. The Clippers about to blow that 3-1 lead. So hopefully we ain't on this show talking about Doc Rivers getting fired. Because if he loses this series, Doc Rivers gonna have to sign them pink slips because he's out of there. He's out of there. But I'm not going to really talk about Paul George's regular season this year because he only played like 45 games. That's not really much to really talk about because he had bad shoulder problem. We'll get right into when he's fully healthy. In the first round of playoffs this year, he played pretty bad. He only averaged 18 a game, and he shot 35 from the field and 27 from three. But in the second round, I guess you could say he's got a little better this series. He's averaging 22 now, but he's shooting a little bit better at 47 from the field and 42 from three. But my question is like, can Paul George go back to that MVP Paul George we saw the last year, the 2018-19 season when he was third in MVP voting, the year that Dame hit the shot over him. That year he was averaging 28. He was averaging 28 in the regular season, and he averaged 28 in the playoffs in those 5 games in that series, shooting 38 in the regular from 3 and 31 in the playoffs, but shooting 43 in both playoffs and regular. So, do you feel like Paul George can get back to them MVP that MVP like Paul in this series? Are the Clippers going to need that Paul George to get over the top?
Yes. I mean, if the Clippers do pull this out, Denver is like Paul George has to be averaging like 24, 25 versus the Lakers because it's like Bron and AD is gonna average. They gonna get theirs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and Kawhi gonna get his too, but it's like PG. He's got to be that second dude. You know what I'm saying? It can't be nights where it's like, oh, Lou is the second best player. Or, Harrell is the second best player. It's like, no, PG has to be that dude every night. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't think he has to go back to those MVP like last year numbers, but it's like, he has to assert himself. Like, he got to make sure that he in a rhythm early. Because that's the thing. That's what I really noticed about PG, especially in like these bubble games and stuff. It's like, Kawhi, the way he plays, like Kawhi just got spots where he gets to, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like he can, he won't get thrown out of rhythm, you know what I'm saying? But the way PG plays, PG. saying? But the way PG play, you know, PG is like he's a creator, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like he gotta be feeling good, like, because, you know, he takes tough shots, you know what I'm saying? So he got to be in that mode to where it's like, you know, he's hitting shots, because like when he's not making shots, he can shoot you out the game, and he can shoot himself out the game. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think they just got to make sure that they assert his dominance early and make sure that he's like in the flow of the game early, because it's like if it gets down to later and PG is having these 2 for 13 nights and stuff, it's like they don't stand a chance versus the Lakers.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think in terms of MVP days, I don't really know. Because back in OKC, he was basically the first option. Keep it a band.
Yeah.
You know, they had Westbrook, but he's not really this guy that's gonna get you these off the dribble buckets. Like, you know, Russell Westbrook not just gonna get you a bucket. Paul George will get you a bucket, but with Kawhi Leonard as the main guy, I don't think he's gonna go to the MVP days. But I think that in order to beat a team like the Lakers, he has to average like Cam said, he has to average like 24, 25 a game. If he doesn't, if he doesn't, they're gonna lose. Like you already know you're gonna get 27, 7 and 8 from LeBron. You're gonna get 26 and 10 from AD. That's automatic.
Yeah, that's guaranteed. That's the thing, bro.
Paul George got to be automatic with it. So I think if he does that, the Clippers and the Lakers gonna go at it for real. But if he doesn't, if he comes out looking like Pandemic P, they gonna lose, and it's not. So I mean, we gonna see. Paul George, one of my favorite guys in the league. Keep it a band with you, because he gets to his spots. He's so smooth with the rock. He's like 6'9", got this crazy wingspan.
He can do everything, bro.
Yeah, he can do everything.
When he's on, bro, he's one of the top 10 players in the league, in my opinion. Like when he's really cooking, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, he's so streaky, you know what I'm saying? It's like he'll cook you one night, and then it's like the next game he goes like 3 for 12. You know what I'm saying? It's like, especially over the course of a playoff series and stuff. It's like, you know, if PG was just like decent in the Mavs series, you know what I'm saying? That's probably a 4 or 5 game series for real. Because because it's like, bro, it literally took him like 5 games to get into rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't be like that, bro. Especially when as you get deeper in, you playing the best teams. It's like, nah, bro, you can't have nights like that. Yeah,
I mean, I think on this list, you know, PG-13 is definitely a guy who has the potential to just heat it up like OD. You feel me? Like, and we talked about Harris. You know, those guys, they're good, but they're not PG. And I think with PG, it's like his numbers aren't the best, but if he steps those up, which he can, the Clippers become a very hard team to beat.
Right, and the thing is, bro, the thing with PG is like on any given night, PG can be the best player on the court. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, like, you know, even on not on Christmas, but the game after when the Lakers and Clippers played, the third game they played, PG was cooking that game. You know what I'm saying? Like he was real good. And even in the first game in the restart, you know what I'm saying? He was cooking. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think he will play well versus the Lakers, because it's like he does have matchups, you know, because I mean the Lakers got good guard defenders. The thing about the Lakers versus the Clippers is like they don't have the wing defenders, or they don't have the, like, you know what I'm saying, how they play Portland and stuff. It's gonna be different the way they defend. I mean, you know, I still think they can do it, obviously, but it's like it's definitely gonna be a different test, you know, if the Clippers do get past the Nuggets. You know, if the Nuggets win, it's like it's easy money for the Lakers, because we've seen them. They was defending Dame, they were defending Harden and Russ. You know what I'm saying? Jamal Murray is nice, but
the Nuggets
he's not on that level with them yet. You know what I'm saying?
The Nuggets ain't nothing for the Lakers to defend.
That's another reason why I do want to see the Lakers and Clippers, because I do want to see how the Lakers match up against like niggas with length. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very different.
Yeah.
That could be definitely true. You know, everybody wants to see Lakers and Clippers. That is the box offer. We've been talking about it since October, which is crazy that we're still talking about it now. Yeah, right. But you know, they folding right now, man. It's real.
It don't look good. I mean, I had the Clippers. I had Clippers coming out. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, I do know that they have flaws. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they're because to me it's like on paper the Clippers are probably the deepest or most talented team. But it's like, you know, that's not all it comes down to when you're trying to win, you know what I'm saying? Especially the way the Clippers play. It's like they got a bunch of dudes who can go get buckets, but it's like sometimes you don't need that, especially in crunch time. It's like if you have Lou on the floor with Kawhi and PG in crunch time, Lou might take shots away from, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Lou is obviously a big shot maker, but it's like sometimes, you know, like the way Lou plays, like he might got to force up a tough shot. You know what I'm saying? Kawhi and PG, they can get a good shot anytime they want. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think – and they definitely have, like, a lot of – I don't even want to say it's chemistry issues. It's just, like, they got to –
It's urgency. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's urgency, bro. It's
urgency. They don't have it.
Because that's the thing. We see, like, even this game today, it's like they was beating down on Denver early. It's like – and they can – like, they show a lot of flashes of them being having the potential to really be a title team, but then it's like, then they just lose that sense of urgency, and then next thing it's like you blowing 16-point leads, you blowing 19-point leads and stuff. It's like you can't do that versus a great team.
Yeah, you can't. It's one thing to lose your urgency in the regular season, but it's another thing to lose urgency in the playoffs. Because the team that's down is never going to lose that urgency, especially when they're on the brink of going home.
Especially the Nuggets.
Yeah, you cannot take your foot off the gas on a team who's going home if they lose.
Yeah.
Like they do not want to go home.
Especially a team that's known for making noise when their backs against the wall. I've said this on my Twitter 1,000 times. The Nuggets, the elimination team Nuggets, they need to be a my team card on 2K. Because they something serious.
When the Nuggets get hot, they get hot. It's not like
when Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, I'm gonna need those cards in 2K by the end of the night.
Right, that's why I wanted the Jazz. I honestly, as somebody who wanted the Clippers to go all the way, I wanted to.
The Clippers.
They would have got dogged, exactly. Because it's like the Jazz can defend, but it's like their offense is not Denver's offense. Denver got a great offense, you know what I'm saying?
I've never been a high on Rudy Gobert. To me, he's just a defensive anchor. He doesn't bring anything else to the team.
Set picks.
But
it's like he's valuable to the team.
And that's not
player.
That's not effective against teams that have shooting bigs, especially guys like Jokic or like better yet AD. Based on what he had to play, if he would have got to the
and then even bro, like. And then especially it's like if they was playing Kawhi or PG, it's like, bro, Kawhi, they be shooting mid-range shots. The way the Jazz play, they be playing drop coverage, like pick and rolls, like that's easy money, bro. That would have been too easy, bro.
You put Paul George on Mike Conley, you put Kawhi on Donovan Mitchell. That's it.
Yeah, and it's
easy.
It's curtain.
Easy five games.
And then, and that's the thing, bro. It's like, Clippers, they do have the length. We've been seeing that it's bothering Jamal Murray, bro. It's just about staying focused to do it for 48 minutes, bro. It's like they'll do it for 36 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but them 12 minutes will kill you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely facts. But
especially a team like Denver, bro, who can get hot and does play super hard, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like you dug yourself into this hole, bro. Game 7 now, it's your last shot.
Last shout out about the Denver team. We got to shout out Michael Porter. Those comments he had the other day, them choice was terrible, bro. Said he wanted the ball more, and he said he won't get in the ball more, basically, even though that's not the exact words that came out of his mouth. Yeah. But he stepped into the plate. He said them words, but Michael Porter is a very, very key factor of why they are here.
He backed it up for sure.
Yeah, Game 5, he had a couple good shots. Game 6, this game today. He played really. Yeah. He played really well.
He had to, because if he didn't hoop, he would have. They would have fried him. They would have fried him.
The minutes would have been down.
Right, he's nice. He's super nice on offense, bro. It's just his defense is what he got to work on.
That's gonna get better because he's 6'10" in length.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. He's long, bro.
Yeah. Every player in due time gets better at defense in the league. It's just something they just learn how to get better because they gotta learn how to get better in order to help their team win and get through those title aspirations. But let's go on to our final guy for this part. We're gonna talk about Pascal Siakam. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Pascal, he kind of supported me. I ain't gonna lie. Regular season, my guy was averaging 22 and 7 on 35 from 3 and 45 from the field. But starting in the playoffs immediately, that did happen. Starting there, he went down to 28 from 3 and 41 from the field in the first round. And then the second round against the Celtics, this was abysmal right here. He averaged a whopping 14 points, 7 boards, shot only 12% from 3, 38 from the field. But man, the 12, man, I ain't gonna lie, when I was putting these together the night before, looking at it, man, when I saw 12% from 3, I was like, God damn. I thought Russell Westbrook shot bad, but sheesh.
Bro, they had him in jail, like for real, like. Yeah. But they put JB. Bro, it's like, and that's the thing, bro. Pascal is nice, you know what I'm saying, but Pascal is not. He's not a number one option, you know what I'm saying. Like he's a good secondary scorer, you know what I'm saying. If people can game plan for Pascal, like his game is not like complete yet, you know what I'm saying. Like
I'm about to say,
like, he's not a shot creator or nothing. Like he gonna get points off transition and stuff, but like they had Kawhi last year who was like, they had a go-to guy. Pascal is not that dude for the Raptors.
Not yet.
You know what I'm saying?
Not yet.
I mean, it's possible, his game just got to get more refined. I mean, in all honesty, I think he's further along than Giannis in terms of like, what they need to dudes like complete the game because at least Pascal can at least shoot the three a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He will shoot mid ranges. You know what I'm saying? You know, Giannis is obviously more dominant, but like, you know what I'm saying, in terms of their games being more complete, I think Pascal's is. And you know, I mean, Pascal can get to that level one day, but he's just not there yet. But I think right now he's best suited to be a secondary option.
Yeah, we saw that. Well, yeah, that was kind of my question to y'all anyway. Why did Pascal struggle this year in the playoffs, and will he be to Toronto's future? Because I don't know if everybody does know that he was a most improved player in 2018. So, like, he has the potential to be that guy, but, you know, as Cam just said real quick, he said nothing more than a second option right now. And I can definitely agree because when they try to put the ball in his hands, obviously, he did not perform well. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie.
His handle ain't look good. His shot ain't look good. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't shaking folks off. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then also it's like but like, I'd actually seen like somebody doing like a YouTube breakdown of him the other day. It's like, but you actually saw like versus Celtics and stuff, it's like you could tell like his handle was off because he was posting up more, like, you know what I'm saying? Because even during the season, they said like he would be on the perimeter and stuff, like, you know, they would put him in like pick and roll or like ISOs and stuff, because he had took time off. I think he said he didn't pick up a ball for like 3 when COVID first started and stuff. And it's like you can tell there's a big difference in how he was playing before the restart and now, because it's like, bro, his handle don't, like we were saying, his handle don't look right. Like none looks right with him.
Yeah, nah, definitely. That just kind of rough. You know, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like his game is still very limited because I ain't gonna lie. If he do one more spin move in the post, I'm gonna have to call him myself. Bro, that's all he do, man. Every time he posts a spin move, and I watch one play. I almost died of laughter. I remember Jaylen Brown was on him. Jaylen Brown let him spin. He was like, okay, give me that. Nah.
But look, all the debates about JB and Tatum, I mean, folks are saying Siakam was better than those two. That's gone. I don't want to hear none of that. There's nothing. There's nothing he does better than him.
I just think his struggles come from the fact that the playoffs slow everything down. He's a transition player, and you can like even with Giannis, you know, you're not just gonna get transition buckets all the time in the playoffs. It's gonna slow down because this is smart teams. Like, this is smart basketball. Like these are smart players. They're not gonna be throwing all these turnovers.
And they scouting you, bro. Like they scouting you for days before. You know what I'm saying? They know your moves. They know what you're trying to do.
But the good thing
about he hasn't changed it.
The good thing about his struggling now is that he'll use this as because he's a very, very hard, like everything he's gotten has been off of straight hard work. Like he's been on hard work, nothing but hard work. So I think this summer he be with Rico Hines and them. I don't know if you've seen it runs on YouTube.
Yeah, I seen.
That's his trainer, and they get to it. So I think that this summer he really gonna bring some new stuff to his game because he has to. He
gotta develop that post work more because he gotta get a post fade, hook, something.
And that's the thing, bro. Like with the Raptors, it's like, bro, that's all because the Raptors can defend anybody, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? They can defend like crazy, bro. It's just we literally just saw on offense like in the last game, it's like, bro, they don't have no go-to scorer. They had to go to Van Vliet at the end. You know what I'm saying? Van Vliet is nice, but he's not supposed to be
worst shot in basketball history.
Now Williams on the switch. He's an excellent defender. Van Vliet puts up a prayer, and it's
shot I've ever seen in my life. That last shot.
They said with 5 seconds left, I'll do a step back, heavily contested, and got the joint block. That's even worse.
I love Fred, but that shot was just.
Oh no, that joint was terrible. But he will get
possession.
But he will get paid this offseason. Definitely. No matter that shot, he definitely will get paid.
I wonder where he's gonna go though. That's the thing.
Toronto can get him back now. The thing about with Toronto is that they got to answer a lot of questions because with Marcus Gasol, Serge Ibaka, those guys are free agents as well. And with Pascal, he just inked. But now you got Fred, you got to answer that because we don't know how long Kyle Lowry's still going to be in the league because now that he just finished up year 14. So the question is, how much longer is Kyle going to be playing? It don't look like he's falling off because with that 33-point game 6, it shows he still can ball out. So like that's the question that's the question the Raptors.
Bro, for real.
Oh yeah, that's the question the Raptors got. That's the question the Raptors got to answer. I'm gonna go off a little topic here. You know, I got an argument with a couple of my cousins and my friend. Man, they said that Kemba Walker is better than Kyle Lowry outright, and then I couldn't agree. I couldn't because Kyle Lowry, he's nice, and Kemba Walker. And when I look at the matchup, I'm like, Kemba Walker can really only score better than Kyle Lowry. That's it. That's it. I need y'all opinion. Kemba or Kyle?
This is what I would say. If we were just talking like, in terms of just straight basketball skill, I think Kemba is better than Kyle Lowry. But in terms of like we on a team, I want Kyle Lowry on my team over Kemba Walker. You know what I'm saying? Because he does all those intangible stuff. Yes. Like, you know what I'm saying? He does stuff that don't show up on stats.
My thing is Kemba Walker is, what is he? Maybe like 29, something like that.
Yeah, he's old. 29.
So I think this is his first time really having a team that could possibly contend. You feel me? I think once he gets a little bit more,
true.
When he get a little bit more of that playoff experience under his belt, I think that all in all, he probably will contribute more to winning than Kyle does. The thing with Kyle is he leaves everything on the floor on both ends. So you're gonna get a charge. You're going to get a hustle play. You're going to get this, that, and the third. You're going to get some acting, you're going to put some pressure on the rest. It's the things that you don't appreciate as a basketball fan that Kyle Lowry brings to the organization. However, I'm not going to say Kemba Walker is not better than him, because if I needed somebody to go give me a bucket, I'm choosing Kemba Walker, and it's not even close. So it's
of course.
It's all about what you want out of your point guard. But I think Kemba Walker could kind of adopt that, that mentality as he gets some winning under his belt. Because
that's very
8 years in Charlotte, that don't really do nothing for you in terms of
playoff basketball.
Yeah, he went to
twice, got swept twice. Wait, no. When he went twice, swept by Brown the first time. They played the Heat twice, but he lost both. He went to 7. That was when Brown wasn't there. That's when D Wade had that memorable Game 6. I'll never forget that game. He went crazy that game. But yeah, that was a really good game.
But yeah, man, the Celtics, this team look crazy, man. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
They get some more free agents that could contribute off the bench, because your 6-man being Brad Wanamaker really not gonna cut it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But if somebody like maybe like a Dennis Schroeder want to pull up and hoop off the bench, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody who could really like control a bench unit, man. The Celtics.
No, they legit, bro. I mean, I think versus y'all, that's gonna be a great series. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got the defenders. Y'all got the defenders to throw at JB and Tatum. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's gonna be a chess match.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is it's two great coaches on both sides too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my personal pick would be Celtics in 7, but you know what I'm saying? It's like it could go either way, bro.
Yeah,
I know it's gonna be hard fought on both sides.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
And y'all can win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Honestly, for me, it's us in 7, but that's because us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I was a regular spectator, I wouldn't know where to go. But I think that we got the bodies to be able to throw at Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Marcus Smart scares the hell out of me, bro. No question. Marcus Smart scares the hell out of me. I'm not even lying, bro. Like, that man is a dog, man.
Yeah, he is, bro.
Whew. Marcus Smart.
I saw memes the other day. They said that's what Patrick Beverly thinks he is. I was like, dang. Nah, but I definitely want to see that matchup. That matchup looks crazy. When you look at it on paper, you got Jimmy versus Tatum. That's going to be box office right there. But my question for the Celtics is, how are they going to guard Bam Adebayo? Because we know Daniel Theis can't do it. We know
Adebayo drives down the lane and the flush.
We know Enes Kanter definitely can't do it. Robert Williams, he might, but he's more like a Miles Turner. He's not.
Bro, look, this is what I think, bro. I think Tyson's obviously gonna have to be the body that they use, but like, you know what I'm saying. Bam can score, you know what I'm saying, but Bam not gonna go off for like 25 a night, you know what I'm saying? Like Bam be playing like a point center, you know what I'm saying? He be playmaking stuff for folks, and like, don't get me wrong, like, Bam is a beast, you know what I'm saying? Bam probably one of the top young centers for me. Like, I think after Embiid and Jokic, Bam is right up in that conversation.
He's improved tremendously.
Yeah, and you know what I'm saying?
First year in the league, he couldn't shoot, couldn't dribble. Now he got a good, solid 15-footer.
Yeah,
and he can put the ball on the floor and get a buck in the mid-post game when you actually need to, and that's a good supplement.
Yeah, and that's my thing. It's like, like Bam will get you his, you know what I'm saying. But I think the thing for the Celtics is like, they'll be cool with Bam scoring like 16, 17. You know what I'm saying. I think they mainly gonna be trying to contain Jimmy, like make sure that Jimmy not able to get no rhythm. But the thing is about the Heat is like, bro, y'all got a bunch of shooters. Like, y'all got Duncan Robinson, y'all got Hero, y'all got Dragic. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they might game plan for Jimmy, but it's like y'all got folks who can step up on any given night, any night. You know what I'm saying? Like if say like we saw even versus Milwaukee, it's like, you know, Jimmy went off for 40 the first game, and it's like after that he had like 12 or something.
13.
But y'all still whooped him. You know what I'm saying? It's like Dragic picked it up. You know what I'm saying? I think Jay
Crowder been hidden, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Tyler Hero's hooping. Duncan Robinson, he liable to hit 8 threes any night. You know what I'm saying?
You got Kelly Olynyk off the bench. You can go.
Yeah, bro. So it's like, bro, y'all are deep, bro. I think the main thing I would say Boston just because of more talent. Like I feel like Toronto and Miami are very similar teams to me. You know what I'm saying? I think Miami they actually have a closer in Jimmy. They just have a closer in Jimmy.
Lay it out on the floor. Yeah, like Cam said, they just got that closer.
And they play hard. Both teams play hard.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But my thing with Bam is, you know, we not really asking him to go out and drop, you know, these crazy numbers. Facts. But what he does in terms of defense, he's insane. He can switch 1 through 5. Yeah. You know, it's never going to be a situation where he's undermatched. It's like a real big mismatch. Yeah,
there's no mismatch versus Bam.
And then he facilitates. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of players who come off who cut hard. They come off these pin downs and all that. These pin downs, these handoffs where you know, especially Duncan Robinson, he'll get the handoff, he'll come off the screen, he might pass it back, then he'll go cut. You know, that's why I think this series is gonna be crazy because Celtics defend, but the Heat also move, and the Celtics, you know, as good as they are on defense, I don't know how well they do against a whole bunch of movement. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like seeing Toronto be able to, I guess, kind of beat them with their high level defense, but no offense, kind of gives me a little bit of hope that with a lot of offense,
better offense.
Yeah, with better offense and the fact that we do defend, we don't defend as well as Toronto, but we defend. I think that it's gonna make for a
and they'll just have bodies at the end of the day too. Y'all have bodies to throw at any wing combination. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's gonna wear some folks down. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point, you know what I'm saying? Especially as the series goes on. Because everybody thinks it's gonna be like at least 6-7 game series.
Yeah, they know it's gonna be a dogfight for sure.
Yeah, so it's like and you got bodies to throw. I mean, the thing is, the Celtics got bodies to throw at people like Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? At Jimmy, at Dragic and stuff, like, you know what I'm saying. So that's why it's like it's real deal a chess match, bro. It's no telling, bro.
Hey, I'm excited.
Whoever is gonna be the best. See, it's like also because actually Tatum making his way into that combo, you know, especially into is Tatum top 10? You know, Jimmy always been on the fringe of like top 10, top 15. Like I think Jimmy's closer to 15 though. You know what I'm saying? But it's like this will determine who's better between the two. So like, it's a lot of storylines coming out too. So
it's exciting.
It's really cool to see. Right.
Yeah, definitely one of the most exciting series that's coming in the playoffs. But, you know, that's all we got for part A. So, you know, those guys I told you about, those others, we're going to hit on a couple of those others in the next part. So stay tuned for the next part. This is ours signing off. Co-host PJ, special guest Cam, and see y'all soon.
Peace.